would you take tax advice from a robot? So first, let's be clear about our definitions here, as definitions are important. A robot, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is a machine capable of carrying out complex series of actions, especially one programmable by a computer. So think about it. Though you might not immediately think of this, consider tax software that's widely used today in the industry and around the globe. That software is really technically capable of carrying out complex actions. So in effect, it's a robot. And there are a lot of conceivable benefits to robots, okay? When you think about it, precision, automation of low-value tasks, and the ability to generate lots and lots of data. Okay, so it sounds pretty good, all those aspects. So what's the real issue with that? Well, a robot lacks the creativity, the human element to provide sage advice that people are looking for. A robot does what it's told. And while it can do some thinking and problem solving, thanks especially to the advances recently in artificial intelligence, it does not and cannot be a thoughtful, self-aware, and empathetic entity. You could say, regardless of the kind of relationship you may have with Siri, that robots are not known for their interpersonal skills. While they can crunch numbers, they can't understand and relate on a personal level to the goals of their clients, and thus work with them on that personal level. But the limit of the type of work that robots can do today is expanding constantly. The stuff of science fiction only a few years ago is going on today in laboratories and beta test sites around the globe. Self-driving cars are a frightening reality, and increasingly intuitive GPS apps are becoming indispensable. Shopping apps really know what you want and have changed the whole purchasing experience of almost everything that we buy. The line between truly creative thought and synthetic thought is blurring, and it's blurring at an ever-increasing rate. Technology is here to stay, as we all know, and its advances are radically changing the professional landscape in what we do. Many of the tasks that accountants rely on today are being disrupted and overtaken by technology. According to a report from the BBC, the likelihood of an accountant or taxation expert's job becoming automated is 95%. This ranks just below that of a fishing industry worker in terms of automation risk to their job. Now ponder that for a moment. Robot fishermen? So again, what does the future of accountancy really look like? Well, there are four major trends that will significantly impact the tax and accounting landscape here over the next 5 years. The first is we're in the midst of a global transition to cloud software, driven by the need for interconnectivity and mobility. The move to the cloud, along with increasing regulatory requirements, will drive technology adoption requiring intelligent investment, training, and better resource allocation. A technology evolution that automates knowledge tasks like bookkeeping and tax preparation will continue to advance and disrupt those industries. This will create urgency and an opportunity, though, for accountants and tax managers to deliver advice, counsel, and other higher value services. Governments worldwide will implement stricter compliance and reporting requirements to fight ambiguity that's out there and aggressive tax planning for multinational corporations. This will create the need for software and services that provide global oversight, workflows, and seamless integration with global accounting firms. The industry will also see more mid-market companies joining in and using technology in order to comply with enable tax compliance. Information will become increasingly commoditized. There will be an increased demand for data analytics to generate insights from the vast volumes of data being created, as well as more scalable advisory practices. Now, what does an accounting professional do in the face of all this disruption? To me, we must become accounting cyborgs. So some may question cyborgs. Isn't that the same as robots? Well, again, it's really important. Definitions are important. A cyborg is a person whose physical abilities are extended beyond normal human limitations by mechanical elements. Think about that. Understood in the context of the tax and accounting industry, a cyborg would be a professional whose abilities have been enhanced by working not in competition with, but in collaboration with technology. What does the accounting cyborg of tomorrow look like? Looking ahead, there are several traits that will be greatly prized by tax practitioners in 2020 and beyond, which cut across all types of tax disciplines. In the next 5 years, tax professionals in all industries and geographies will require greater mobility, automation of time-consuming tasks, more time to be able to work on high-value work, insight with less noise and distraction, global connectivity, reliable software platforms, effective reporting capabilities, and relationships with new generations of tech-savvy customers and employees. These professionals must be able to change in a rapidly changing world and how they work each and every day. They must take action now to anticipate what tomorrow will bring. H.G. Wells, famous for such things as writing The Time Machine, once said, "Human history becomes more and more a race between education and catastrophe." I think Wells touches on, with incredible foresight, the ever-accelerating combination of technological advancement and professional well-being, and the attendant risk of failing to keep pace with all the changes around us. His quote resonates with me as it speaks to the increasingly complex and technologically advanced world in which we staff and manage teams, create differentiation in the marketplace, and drive a sustainable and growing business. This really came home to me last fall when I was in China and attended a World Economic Forum event. I was asked to be the discussion leader at 2 very different sessions, one of which focused on mapping solutions for employment, skills, and human capital. We examined the diversity of geographies and demographics that business leaders encounter, especially in light of the dramatic shifts in technology occurring all around us. For instance, we focused on the potential redundancy of certain jobs, that is, the invasion of the robot. It was said that 47% of all existing occupations are at risk of becoming redundant. By 2020, it's estimated that there will be a global surplus of 90 million low-skilled workers and a shortage of 85 million high-skilled workers. Truly a race between education and catastrophe. More than 500 million new jobs, it's estimated, will need to be created by 2020 to absorb those currently unemployed and provide opportunities for the youth entering the workforce on a global basis. Over the next decade, millions of new jobs will be created that don't yet exist today. So in preparation for the WEF sessions, I read up on the role of connectivity and data consumption. It was estimated from 2014 to 2020, we will add 1 billion people online, all due to smartphones, smartphone becoming the universal product. And who doesn't love their phone? By 2020, 80% of all adults on Earth will have a smartphone, so-called from a few years ago, a pocket supercomputer. Half of all the time spent online in the US is on a smartphone app today. Interaction models are totally unsettled. Rapid innovation and change continues. Screens dominate our lives. More than half of our wake time is spent in media and communications already. What was inconceivable not long ago has now become commonplace. The ramifications of how we market, service, and relate with our customers, potential customers, the media, and the general public are enormous and changing all the time. It's not enough to serve up information and data anymore. More and more tax professionals will be called upon to deliver true insight. And we're going to have to deliver that insight in creative new ways. Fishing industry workers have discovered this too. So what's the key to becoming a cyborg and remaining relevant in a world that is exponentially digitized? Get ready to be regularly retrained. Embrace new technologies and adapt a mastery of soft skills. Learn how to nurture relationships with clients, coworkers, and regulators. Learn how to identify the ghost in the machine, that insightful story hidden amongst the vast amounts of data that are being created. And learn how to make your story work for your clients. So going forward, don't be a robot, as that job's already taken out there. Thank you very much.